Welcome to the second part of my Fallout 76 review. I think I want to start this by actually playing a clip from Mr. Todd Howard from Bethesda, because I think this clip kind of sums up not only the state of the gaming industry today, but the kind of attitude of Bethesda.
Anyway, we know together that we are going to build something really special. And we also know that all of you love our special editions, and we have an awesome collector's edition for you. It starts with a map of the world that glows in the fucking dark.
Never mind the game, eh? Let's get them fucking collector's editions sold. So progression has been very slow in Fallout 76, but we have power armor now. We've travelled around, I've teamed up, I've fought all kinds of different monsters, made elaborate bases, and I'm finally ready to tell you guys that Fallout 76 is one huge, festering, stinking, rotten pile of bantha fucking dung. I can't think of anything that even makes this game remotely worth $60 or £50, whatever currency you use. It's just a completely flawed lie. That's how I feel about this game. I feel like I've been lied to. If anybody who joined my stream for E3 when this game was announced by Bethesda, I was quite excited in the stream. I was kind of like, oh, Fallout 76, a Fallout game, Fallout 3 essentially, with co-op. Open world RPG. All my brain was going mental with all the kind of ideas that this game could have brought to the table. Would I have a little shop in a town, a player-run town? What would I be selling in that shop? Would I be a merchant? Would I have a gang of people and we have our own little village that we build from scratch, and we don't allow any strangers in unless they pay a duty, and we let them come? There's so many different things that we could have done and that Bethesda could have allowed us to do, but instead we get none of that. We don't even get a role-playing game. There's no role-playing in this. All this game is a fetch quest loot game. That's it. There is nothing else to see in this game. There is no story. There is no story. There's no kind of progressive storyline. All you do is you find little letters on desks, or you'll hear audio tapes of people who are saying stuff that happened years ago or whatever. That isn't a story. That's just bollocks. You know, it's filling. There's no story. The quests revolve around picking up fucking bottles. Will you go over there and move them 3 barrels? Or go in there and hold these 7 tapes? It's like, what? Alright, then we'll give you a different type of quest. Go across the map and press a button on a fucking computer, eh? This game is as shallow as piss. It really is, guys. It's just got nothing to it at all. It's just been a lazy attempt at cashing in on the Fallout name. I mean, this game is essentially just full of bullet sponging enemies and you collecting loot, but even that's done badly. I mean, looting, let's look at looting. You don't get anywhere near enough room to store the stuff you loot. I mean, you get over encumbered so easily because once you get some decent armor and some decent weapons, you have to take out a certain amount of stuff with you when you go on a looting run. You've got to take food, you've got to take water, you've got to take some anti-radiation stuff, you've got to take stim packs in case you get wounded, which you inevitably will. You've got to take a whole load of ammo with you as well, and by the time you've got all that in your bags and other things that you're going to need that boost certain attributes that you might need when you're out there, you've got hardly any room left to carry loot. So you get over encumbered very easily, which then makes it absolutely hardly possible to walk back to your base. It's just awful. And when you get back to your base and you dump your loot in your big fucking stash in your base, you find that runs out of room. You can only hold £400. I mean, once you get power armor and you put that in there, you're pretty much fucked. It's ridiculous. They just punish you at every bloody place, and the enemies are just boring to fight. They're just bullet sponges. You know, all you do, you team up with other people to just fire more bullets into the big bastard sponge. That's all you do. There's nothing really good about it. The AI is just tragic, absolutely fucking tragic, guys. Honestly, like, they slide around the place, they run all over the place, generally at your face once they can see you. They just charge at you, or there's only 2 types. They'll either jump behind the nearest barricade and just shoot you from behind it, or they'll just charge at your face and say, look at that, look, I'm in your face, I'm in your face, I'm in your... And you can't shoot them because they're just in your face, moving around so fast. They get under your chin because the field of view's so bad, because the port from console to PC is so fucking awful. But the funniest thing about the combat is you have VATS. Remember VATS from Fallout 3, where you would press VATS and it would slow time down to a crawl, so you could select the different areas of the body you wanted to target, and it would give you a percentage of kind of chance you have of hitting that. And then once you'd selected where you're going to shoot, it would execute that, and you'd see some really cool bullet action as it was blowing limbs off. Well, in this, obviously you can't slow down time, so it's all happening in real time. So when you've got a monster charge it before you put on VATS, he still gets in your face, and so you just select anywhere and just pull your fucking trigger, and your gun's not even hasn't had time to point at him yet, so your gun's firing at the ceiling, but you're hitting him who's over to your left. It's just utterly broken bullshit, guys. Absolute bullshit. But when you're using the aiming without VATS, it's really hard to hit them because they move so erratically, because they haven't been programmed properly. It's like when you play a normal game, like if you played Prey, for example, which is a highly polished first-person shooter. When you are fighting the monsters, it's much easier to hit them because they've been programmed properly. They've just kind of thrown in some assets and thought, there you go. Then you've got the base building, guys. The whole point of actually going out there and collecting stuff is so you can build a great base and have all these machines in it to mod your weapons and upgrade them and all that, which you can do, and create more ammunition. But hey, even that's all fucked as well, because when you build a base, and you know, you want to build a decent base, you want to have turrets and all that on it, so you build your base and then you log off and your base vanishes. Somebody comes along and says, oh, I think I'll build my base here. So when you come back in, your base is gone, like I mentioned in the last part 1 of the review. But I've got more info on this now. Your base is packed up in a backpack, and so if you want to, you can deploy it again. Great, fine, I'll do that. And so you go somewhere and you find a place that you're going to redeploy your base, but you can't redeploy it because the terrain's slightly different to the terrain where you built it. So you can't actually put it down. It's all red. It says, oh, you can't put me here because the ground's uneven. It's not even. It was quite flat here. So you can't put your base down half the time. So all them hours that you've spent creating a base for nothing, it's just gone, lost. Start again, mister. How did this ever get off the drawing board, guys? If they even had a drawing board. They're probably too busy designing the collector's edition fucking helmet. So the quests is all just fucking fetch quests. The combat's horrible and janky, and the VAT system is just totally broken. The base building's pointless because someone's going to steal your fucking land, and then you're fucked, and so you're going to have to start again. The looting system, yes, picking up the stuff and finding them is quite fun until you realise that you can only carry a certain amount of things and it's not a lot, so you get over encumbered, then it's not fun on that. There's no story, just little notes and messages lying around the fucking place. The quest system's hideous. Go and fetch this here, fetch that there, fetch this here, or press that fucking button over there. PvP. How about PvP? Well, it's PvP. A guy came round the corner and I shot him point blank with me fucking shotgun, modified shotgun, right in the chest. It did no damage. He just stood there and went, what are you doing? What are you shooting me for? Huh? What are you doing? And then just carried on. He just jogged on. Just jog on. Nothing to see. And do you know why that is, guys? Because this is how PvP works in Fallout 76. If I shoot somebody with a gun and they don't want to partake in the PvP, they just don't retaliate. So the damage I do to them is microscopic. Sure, I can keep annoying them and going up to them and punching them and shooting them, but the damage I do is so minimal that it'll take me 10 or 15 minutes just to kill them. Now, if they turn around and fire back at me, that is them consenting to the PvP, at which point we run around like pricks shooting each other until one of us dies. And whoever dies, it's no penalty. He spawns round the corner, comes back, gets his shit and jogs on. And the guy who wins, well, if he started the fight, he becomes wanted. So if somebody kills him, they'll get a few bits of credit at the bottle tops for doing it. Big fucking deal. There's your PvP. Utterly pointless, which is why nobody does it. There's no PvP. Nobody bothers with it. Everybody just gets on with it. That's if you can find any players now, because when I first started my review, there was 22 people on the servers. Now there's only 11. The game is pretty much dead already. It's an absolute failure, and it's a failure through greed, through lack of design, through lack of interest, lack of care, and just being downright fucking lazy. That's what Fallout 76 is. It's an absolute disgrace that this game was released, and a fucking joke that it's at AAA prices. How dare they? There are better fucking $9.99 indie games out there that have more fucking heart and soul than this pile of shite. It makes me fear for the Elder Scrolls 6 now after playing this. After playing this and then thinking what's to come. Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. My goodness. Get rid of these fucking muppets at Bethesda who think that this is a quality product, because it's just fucking disgusting. It's not a quality product. It's a big pile of festering ocelot piss.